All right, I just read something that's one of my favorite AI slogans. It's been around for a few years now. I mean, I've heard everybody from people that I worked with to people on the internet say the same line. And they say it uncritically, unthinkingly, no depth of argument or thought at all. It's like a reflex. It's been hammered home. It's one of these kind of catchphrases that internet people, they don't even realize they picked it up on the internet, but they picked it up on the internet, and then it spreads and it moves all over the place. But it's effective. It's a lot like freedom of speech. I deserve freedom of blah blah blah, in that there's an emotional response, right? Like, and this phrase, when people say it, you don't think to yourself first and before you reply, because it hits an emotion. So it's effective in that it, like, when you're talking to somebody, you can get a gotcha out of it with them. So the phrase is, paraphrased loosely, how do you know your brain isn't an LLM? Or a similar version of it is, how do you know your brain's not a next token predictor? And this doesn't stand up to any scrutiny at all. It's an absolute ridiculous assertion or question to ask, because people have been around for 10,000s of years, and we've now landed on the moon. We've got satellites floating in space. We've built out our entire planetary infrastructure and kind of described the laws of physics and mathematics. And what has an LLM done? Oh, wait, people built it. And it's a model of language that humans did, statistical model probably, encoded in this crude network graph-like structure, very crude. So to then flip that argument, and instead of saying, let me prove that this crude thing that I built, now granted it costs a lot of money to build these language models that are out there now, and a lot of horsepower and compute, so that muddies the water a bit. But if a person builds something and says, I managed to build something that's like a brain, if they phrase it that way, you're like, well, prove it. Show me. Define how well a human's brain works, and then show me that yours works better. Show me that it can do tasks. So hundreds of billions of dollars have been poured into this stupid AI garbage, and nobody's done that. Nobody's defined intelligence. Nobody can answer that question. Nobody can say, oh, golly gee whiz, we believe intelligence the way a human being has intelligence, or a mammal has intelligence, or a bird has intelligence, or fish has intelligence, works like this. Here's what intelligence means. It needs to have this, and this. And then we can compare that to what an LLM does, which is basically, it pretends like it's what a person might have done. It pretends like it's what a person said, using statistics that are under the hood regarding word frequencies and order. So it's a Russell's teapot situation. How can you prove there isn't a teapot floating around the earth, Mike? Well, golly gee whiz, that's not my job. My job isn't to prove that there's not a teapot floating around the earth. It's your job to prove that there is. It's your job to prove that there is intelligence in an LLM, and there isn't, and you haven't, and you can't. So you're just running a con game when you make that statement. But what gets me about it the most is the gigantic balls you have to have on you to throw it down like it's a kind of ace in the hole. Like, man, I'm gonna pull this ace out of my sleeve and I'm gonna slam that thing on the table, baby. Listen, maybe our brains are just LLMs too. Maybe our brains are LLMs. Did you ever think of that, Mike? Yeah, man, I thought of it. It's dumb. Fulk It.